This is one of the most interesting and expensive materials I ever came across. It's called Cesium 133. It's the only natural and only naturally occurring and only stable isotope of Cesium. It has a very specific use that's extremely important for a lot of scientific things and the global positioning system for once. For one, it is also produced by nuclear fission in nuclear reactors. It's very rare. One specific quantum transition in the Cesium-133 atom is used to define the second, a unit of time. And how that works is actually here. There's a vibration or a fixed frequency that comes about through the Cesium-133 as it decays. It radiates energy at a fixed frequency, and it comes out to be 9,192,631,770 cycles per second. So it's far more accurate than the planets. That's why you'll see the clock has to be adjusted a second every so often. Back even in the 70s, they had the I don't even know if it's more accurate than that now, but it's 1 or 20th of a second per million years that it has to be adjusted. The clock has to be adjusted. That's how accurate it is. So obviously this has a lot of use in the global position system and also in the military for, time and distance has to do with putting something on target or positioning something on the ground or in the air. So science and navigation are the two main areas in which extreme accuracy are required. For example, the global positioning system used so much today can only be as accurate as the passage of time can be measured by a clock. So atomic clocks are extremely important. Now, I want to go over a little bit about the price volatility of this metal. And for one, just take a look. There's not too many places you could buy this stuff, period. But here it's got $3,000 a gram, Russian Federation. These other two places don't even mention, what it costs. Probably about the same thing. Finland, Ukraine. And a lot of it is on that side of the world because they got some, one thing I know about Russia, everybody's an engineer. And I'll tell you, they got some very smart, bright engineers and mathematicians in Russia. They got some seriously smart people over there. It's kind of more, the United States has different goals. In Russia, it seems like to be an engineer is one of the top goals around. So everybody calls themselves an engineer. Like in Italy, they might call themselves a professor, professore. They always think of themselves as a professor. It's amazing. I don't know what the deal is, but it's a different cultural type of thing. Now, you saw that price of $3,000. This actually comes out to $18,000 a gram. This was something, I got this all blacked out. It's a safekeeping receipt. And if you think it's a phony valuation, before this goes into safe in a bank, they have to have an assay on it. An assay is not cheap to get. It's like tens of thousands of dollars. So when you're talking, and also when you're talking 15,000 grams, that's 15 kilos, or like just under 40 pounds. So you got over $250 million worth of stuff in 40 pounds. So, that gives you an idea what the hell this type of stuff is worth. But when you do the little calculation, you saw the price $3,000 a gram, $18,000 a gram. This was a couple years ago. So 1 troy ounce was over $500 million. And that whole lot was 39.6 pounds. Now, what's interesting is that actually is the price at that time. And this other thing, this is the price now. And I've noticed this with all these isotopes. they're different price than they were a couple years ago, or less than a couple years ago. And it's almost as if, because these things aren't shorted by J.P. Morgan. They're not traded any place publicly. I mean, you can't go buy options and futures on this stuff. It's all physical trades. All physical trades. No options, no futures. And yes, there could be trades, but they're not public. They go on private placement programs, exclusive, closed to the public. So it's totally different. Now, why did it go from $15,000 a gram to $3,000 a gram? Is that because it's supply and demand issues? I don't know. But I think it has to do with the economy too. Yeah. When there's a lot of money to invest, like when quantitative easing goes on, prices go up across the board. And yes, I think the precious metals will go up more. But you know what? If you look at everything during the time period that silver went up and gold went up, cotton went up, cocoa went up, corn went up, wheat went up, everything else, palladium went up. I mean, that's a precious metal, but they all crashed. All of them did. So, I mean, maybe there's some truth about J.P. Morgan shorting silver. I think there is. They are. But they're not shorting this metal. They have nothing to do with it. Nothing at all. There's nobody shorting anything on this metal. It's all physically traded. And it's like the price of all metals have dropped. If even you go to Kitco, right? What happened here with rhodium? Didn't its price drop? Wasn't it at $10,000 at one time? You could say supply and demand, but then it crashed all the way down when we had the economic crisis, didn't it? Didn't it drop down to like $700? And this was up to $2,500 not that long ago, and it dropped. Did J.P. Morgan short rhodium? Did J.P. Morgan short Cesium isotopes? I probably shouldn't say this because, if you have a lot of people thinking the wrong thing, you can screw them up. But I just want to tell you people that you're not getting a full story. It's not accurate. Just use a little common sense. J.P. Morgan didn't short rhodium. But, QE caused this metal to go up too. Just like cotton. Just like silver. Just like gold. Yeah, maybe there is a conspiracy to knock them down, but there's no conspiracy in these other metals. And when you're talking, okay, rhodium's traded, right? I mean, you could buy like physical rhodium in these little sponges and stuff like that. But you don't buy this stuff. You don't buy this stuff. So the price on this stuff crashed from $18,000 a gram to $3,000 a gram. Nobody shorted it. I can tell you that right now. And you could say, yeah, supply and demand, but all across the board, all the commodities went up really high during QE, and they crashed approximately the time QE stopped going out. Now, if I want to make a prediction about silver, because maybe I've been doing a lot of videos on silver, as soon as they really do QE, and I think they're going to, silver is going to go up a lot. It will be probably $75-$80 inside of no time, but I think it's going to crash first, way below 30. And I don't know, maybe people might want to try to jinx me, but if I'm accurate, I'm accurate. I think it's going to crash, and I'm shorting it right now. So, but like I said, I don't know if that's because J.P. Morgan's going to crash it. I think it's going to be because of a lack of liquidity in the system. People don't have the money to spend on stuff. They just get rid of different things if they need it for someplace else. Just like the real estate market. Same thing. No different. So I mean, yeah, maybe there's truth to conspiracies, but it isn't all conspiracy, believe me. Or maybe people shouldn't understand how the markets work, but I should, and then maybe they don't, and it's good if that's good for me. But telling you the truth, that's how markets work. There's cycles. That's just how it goes.